The Akai MPK249 was released back in 2015, quickly becoming one of the top 49-key MIDI controllers available on the market. However, 8 years later, and Akai still hasn't released a new version. So how does the MPK249 stack up today in the midst of the likes of Arturia and Novation? Let's talk about it. If there's one thing that the Akai MPK249 has a clear advantage at, it's the pads. We all know that Akai has been making some of the best finger drumming pads available on the market, and the MPK249 is no exception. Equipped with proper MPC pads, these pads are super sensitive and responsive, allowing for great control in performances. Out of the box, the sensitivity is a bit on the lower side, but with some quick adjustments, you can match the MPC pads to your playing style. In fact, you can change a whole lot of things here. Finger drumming on these pads are super fun, and after owning the MPK249 for nearly 5 years, these pads have held up against the test of time. They are made out of solid rubber and they feel very firm and durable. There are some marks from drumming on them, but other than that, not one pad has lost any sensitivity. One other cool feature is the ability to switch between 4 different banks, giving access to up to 64 pads. These pads are also pretty bright and customizable. Each pad is fully RGB, and I've had some fun creating my own colorway and layouts for performances to make it feel like a launch pad. These pads also come with the classic MPC features such as no repeat, 4 level and 16 levels for their classic workflow. Overall, these pads are probably the best you can get out of any 49-key MIDI controller. The MPK249 is equipped with semi-weighted, full-size keys. Overall, the feel is very natural and responsive. The sensitivity is on point and it feels and sounds like most other semi-weighted keyboards out there. After 5 years, these keys have never failed, so these are definitely durable. There's only one slight issue I have, which are that the black keys don't feel as premium as the white keys. They feel noticeably narrower, don't go as low, and the higher up you play, the harder it is to press them. They also do make a slight squeak and you can feel the spring tense a lot more. While the velocity sensitivity is pretty good and they do support aftertouch, the inconsistency between the white and black notes really lets the keyboard down. For this, I give the Keybed a rating of 7 out of 10. The MPK249 comes with a range of sliders and knobs, which are all customizable to anything that you want in your DAW. These are one of the coolest features that I found on the MPK249. The knobs are all endless encoders, which means you can twist them in any direction infinitely, which also means it doesn't mess up any controls you have mapped to these knobs in your DAW. Endless knobs should honestly be the standard for any MIDI controller, because one of the worst things that can happen is when you have this mapped say to an EQ and you set it to the left. What happens when you select another instrument is that now that EQ is also set to the left, which is super annoying in performances and controlling effects in general. These knobs are well built and have a lot of grip. No complaints over here. The sliders on the MPK249 are pretty unique. They are noticeably thicker and bigger than other competitors, which makes them easier to grip and use. They are also slightly weighted, making them feel much more premium. I have even used these to DJ, which is pretty telling of how good they are. However, because they do stick out a bit, they are quite easy to bend, which some have. Overall, I'm quite impressed with how the knobs and sliders are implemented on the Akai MPK249. A solid rating of 9 out of 10. So before we continue, I want to quickly talk about GamsGo, who reached out to collab on this video. Now, GamsGo is an online subscription sharing service that allows you to get access to your favorite subscription services for much cheaper. How so, you may be asking? Glad you asked. GamsGo operates by purchasing a premium account and then splitting the payments between each user, giving everyone access to their favorite subscription services for much less. Currently, you can get access to Netflix, Disney+, Spotify Premium, Tidal, and much more. If you want to give GamsGo a try, check out the link in my description to get 5% off Netflix and 2% off any other services. Now back to the video. DAW integration on the MPK249 is pretty average to say. After using this keyboard, I'm equally impressed and unimpressed at its ability to cope with Logic Pro, my main DAW of choice. I'm sure it works better with its own native Akai MPC beats, but then again, who actually uses MPC beats for professional production? Not many people. The MPK249 is loaded with 25 DAW presets. They have predefined color-coded pads and layouts for the most popular DAWs. I wouldn't say they are perfectly aligned for each DAW, but they do provide a good starting point, because you can customize and map pretty much everything you see on this keyboard to do whatever you want, which impresses me. However, the actual implementation and intuitiveness of these customizable features are pretty limited to what DAW you are using. For example, there are heaps of transport controls available. However, in Logic Pro, I can only access these by either going into the settings and making all my MIDI ports set to the Akai, or I'll make a template with these changes and start each project using this template. Honestly, not the best. I've also have a lot of gripes with the implementations of a lot of these buttons and controls in Logic Pro, but that's another story for another video. In conclusion, there's heaps of functionality available, including transport controls that make pausing, playing, recording on the go so much easier. However, making things work isn't as simple as plugging in and playing, and I would advise anyone who's looking at taking advantage of all of these features to really sit down, take a look and understand what all of these features do before you use them. Looking at the design, the Akai MPK249 still remains as one of the best looking and most compact MIDI controllers with 49 keys. Akai went with a more rectangular approach that allows for a 4x4 pad layout on top of the keys, which is quite unique when compared to other similar 49 key MIDI controllers. The top is mostly made out of plastic, but this bottom is solid metal, which also does lead to this keyboard being really heavy, weighing at nearly 6 kilograms. That is about double the weight of the Novation and Arturia versions. Having to bring it around for performances and videos has been a bit of a pain, so that is something to keep in mind. Looking at the layout design, the positioning of the pads, DAW controls, knobs, and sliders are all very convenient, and I've never had any issues or wishes for a different layout honestly. Most MIDI controllers do have the pitch band and modulation wheels on the left hand side, while the Akai has it on top of the keys. For me, I've never had an issue with this, and I don't think it will make much of a difference for most people. When we take a look at pricing, the Akai MPK249 is not cheap by any means, being more on the upper premium side of MIDI controllers. Its closest competitors, the Arturia Essential 49 and the Novation Launch Key 49, are both significantly more cheaper. But where the Akai stands out is in its build quality and its MPC pads. Arguably, its competitors have better keybeds, but none of them can compete with Akai's MPC pads. On top of the Akai MPK249 is the Arturia Keylab 49 non-essential version, which is another step up again, but it is significantly larger and much more expensive. So, should you buy the Akai MPK249? Well, there are three main reasons why you should consider the Akai MPK249. Number one is solid and compact build design. The Akai MPK249 has a compact design which is pretty good for handling and taking it around with you. It is not light though, and it is still a bit heavy, but that means it is a bit more durable and will last you several years, and it won't snap and isn't flimsy, which is pretty good to know. Second is for the MPC pads. If you love MPC pads and you've been using other Akai products, the Akai MPK249 is no different. The MPC pads are really good and they're awesome for finger drumming on. If you love finger drumming, the Akai MPK249's MPC pads does separate it from the rest of the other competitors such as the Arturia and Novation, which have their own pads that aren't as good as MPC pads. And lastly, it has an all-round selection of features which complement pretty much every single person who's going to be using for producing, songwriting, or beat making. It has all the knobs, sliders, and a solid keypad, which is perfect for anybody who doesn't need any more than that. The MPK249 combines a decent set of features along with its flagship pads to deliver a package perfect for beatmakers, producers, and songwriters. Even though it is a bit more pricey than the Novation and Arturia, the Akai wins out with its performance-oriented features and layout. However, if you're not looking for a MIDI controller with the best pads, or if you're looking for a MIDI controller with a bit more of a natural feeling keyboard, the MPK249 might not be for you. So that's it for this review, and I hope this video has helped you guys. I'm Outwards, and thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video.